going, everyone? Hopefully you enjoyed that little motivational tip. Let's go ahead and get started in this exercise demonstration. So our first movement we're going to move into today is our seated marches. We are going to start at the beginning of this fitness class in our seated position. This offers us a little bit of more lower impact exercise, and it'll still allow us to get our legs and our hips moving and everything going nice and easy in our body. So again, trying to get those knees up as high as we can, both directions here. Again, this is a nice simple warm-up. I really like doing this one first. Let's go ahead and add a twisting punch to this. So we're gonna go across our body like this, both directions, trying to get some nice twisting through our core here, while we're still focusing on getting those knees up nice and high, both directions. Again, both are super important here. The higher you can get your knees, the better. And also the more twisting through your core you can get, that's gonna offer just a little bit more core activation, which will of course keep you stronger and fitter. Good, let's go ahead and we'll rest on those two activities. We're gonna move into our overhead reach next. So I'm gonna start sitting up nice and tall, back not resting on that chair. We're gonna reach up nice and high towards the sky, stretching our body as high as we can. And then we're gonna reach all the way down towards the ground and see if we can touch our hands down there. Good, so we're gonna repeat this movement going all the way up and all the way down, really stretching as far as we comfortably can, both directions. Remember, if there's any pain with all of this, of course, there's no need to go through that pain. We're just trying to move in a nice low impact environment, of course, to get our body moving and get everything feeling all good for the day. Good, so big reach up and down. Let's go ahead and we'll move into one more of these all the way up. Big reach to the sky, all the way down and relax. Perfect. All right, so the next movement we're gonna move into is our narrow feet, wide feet. So we're gonna start with our feet together. I'm gonna hang on to the side of my chair handles here. That'll make it a little bit easier for myself. Feel free to grab onto the bottom of your chair if you don't have these handles. And then we're gonna start our movement by just going out and in both directions here. Doesn't need to be too crazy, doesn't need to be too quick for ourselves. We're just going out and in, nice and easy here. Good, both directions, moving those feet out, in, out, and in. Good, so the further you can get those legs out when you're doing this, the better for yourself. If you want an extra challenge, you can even take your hands off of that chair. That'll make it just a little bit tougher on your core stability and your balance for yourself. But again, this is really low impact. We're just trying to get the body flowing, get those juices moving through our body, and just get warmed up for our exercise. Good. All right, so just a couple more warm-ups here. We're gonna move into our trunk twist next. This one I really like because it opens up your hips, opens up your lower back, and we're just going both directions here, back and forth, just trying to get some nice twisting through our core, kind of similar to that twisting punch we started out with here, but this will be a little more focused on warming up that lower back, making sure everything's feeling good before we move into some standing exercise. Good, so both directions here, going back and forth, nice and easy. Again, remember for these twisting movements, if there's any pain, you can stop just short of the pain and maybe do a slightly smaller movement like this. But if there's no pain, of course, feel free to go as far as you comfortably can, both directions, and relax. Perfect. All right, so the last movement we're gonna do is our shoulder rolls here. We're just gonna go forward or backward, doesn't matter particularly for yourself. Just trying to get some blood through those shoulders, get a little bit of our neck muscles engaged, just get everything finally warmed up for ourselves all the way around. And rest. Perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and move to a standing position for ourselves. I'm gonna move my chair a little bit to the side. When we're doing these balance drills, again, always feel free to hold on to that chair if you need to for assistance. Our first balance position that we're gonna do is a standing march. So we're just going to have our feet about hip width apart, and then we're just gonna march our feet back and forth here, feeling our shifting from side to side in our body, feeling that center of gravity change. The further up you can get your knee on that march, the harder this is going to be. Also, the slower you go on that march, the harder this is going to be. So see how slow you can go and also how high you can get that knee. Because if you can get it all the way up and go super slow and controlled, you know your balance is super, super good. But of course, remember, this is all relative. So if this is as high as you can go, that's totally okay too. Just give it your best shot. Try to work within your means here. Good, so let's go ahead and we'll pause on that. The next one we're gonna do is a standing balance hold. So we're gonna start with our feet about hip width apart. And then if this is easy for yourself, go ahead and bring both feet all the way together into that touching position. So both feet are touching. And then if this is easy for yourself, you can also actually bring your foot a little bit forward to a slightly staggered position. That'll make it a little more wobbly. Your balance and your base on your feet is gonna be just a little more difficult to hold for yourself. If this is even easy, you can bring your feet all the way touching into that heel to toe position. This is what it'll look like from the side. So heel to toe, and we're really trying to not hold on to anything, not hold on with our arms. Of course, if you need that little assistance, you can have that chair there to kind of check yourself. But if you're able to hold on without moving all to the side, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and we'll switch to the other side. So once again, start with those feet in our hip width position. If that's easy for yourself, go ahead and bring them all the way touching forward once again. And of course, if this is easy, you can slightly stagger that feet all the way until you reach that potential heel to toe hold. And then we're just trying to hold nice and steady again. If you need that chair, feel free to have it with you. That's gonna make it a little bit easier for yourself. But if you're able to not use it, that's kind of what we're shooting for at the end. So we'll hold, and rest. Perfect. Okay, so what we are going to move into next is another dynamic balance drill. So this one's going to involve stepping forward, taking big steps. What you're going to do, I'm going to take a step back a little bit so I have my chair kind of in front of me. And what we're going to do is take a big step with our right foot forward and then take a big step backwards with our left foot. So we're going all the way forward. Really, when we're practicing this one, we're trying to focus on doing our gait in a slightly abnormal distance. So normally when we walk, we'll do something a little more comfortable. We probably won't reach super, super far in front of us. But because we normally do this, we're not used to balancing with a nice big step. So really go ahead and try to take that big step forward and backward. Good. Let's go ahead and we'll switch to that left side. So we're going to do the same thing here. Big reach forward with that left foot. Big reach backward with that right foot. Again, remember, we kind of start backwards a little bit behind our chair in case we need to check ourselves when we're reaching forward. Having it in that position will make this a little bit easier for yourself in case you do need it. So again, big step backward, big step forward. If you notice that you're not really working too hard and you're not really needing to check yourself when you're doing this balance drill, go ahead and try to take a little bit bigger step forward. That'll make it just a little bit more trickier for yourself and will give your balance a little bit more of work. And rest. Perfect. All right, excellent job with that one. We're going to move into a strengthening drill, but it also is really good to practice balance. So this is going to work our calf muscles right here and our ankle muscles. So what we're going to do is come up on our tiptoes as high as we can and then slowly come down. Notice my feet are about hip width apart, coming up and down, nice and controlled. From the side, it'll look like this: up, down, up, down. And we're really just trying to bring those heels up as high as we can. This one, feel free to have your hands near that chair so you can check yourself, check that balance when you're doing this. Up, down, up, and down. Excellent job, everyone. We're going to do another strengthening drill, but also one that can be used for balance as well. This is going to be a single leg RDL. This one is pretty tricky, so go ahead and give it your best shot. We're going to stand on one foot, and what we're going to do is actually turn that chair kind of towards us and move it in a position where we can slowly on one foot bend down. We're going to touch that chair with our hand, And then while staying on that single leg, we're gonna stand all the way back up. So you're keeping your back nice and straight if you're able to. This one's really tricky, so don't feel too bad if you're tumbling all over the place. Down, touch, stand back up, good. So really, really small reach, touch, and up. If you need a little bit extra challenge, you can step back from the chair and you can actually try to touch down to your shin. That'll make it a little bit more of a range of motion, which will make this a little bit harder. Down, good. So go ahead and you're gonna actually repeat the same thing on your opposite foot. So I did my right foot first, excuse me. Now we're gonna move into my left foot, all the way down, touch, all the way up, good. Remember, the more slow and controlled you can do this one, the better. And this one is very, very difficult for your single leg strength and stability. And you'll notice it's pretty tricky for your balance too. So down, touch, up, good. Again, if this is easy, feel free to go down towards your shin. That'll make it a little bit trickier for yourself. So you stand all the way down, all the way up. Beautiful. Excellent job on that one. We are going to do just a couple more exercises. This next one is going to be a side leg swing. We're going to start with our left leg first. Go ahead and you can actually hold on to the chair for this one. All we're going to do is try to bring that leg out to the side and all the way in. Good. Out and in. When you're doing this exercise too, you really want to try to turn your heel out towards the wall when you're doing this. We don't really want to point our toe out to the wall. We want to rather turn our heel towards the wall. That'll make sure we're using those proper muscles in our legs and our hips. So we're not trying to point that heel out. You see how I did that? We want that heel to go out. Good. So if you don't want that toe out, heel out instead. Let's go ahead and we're going to pivot over to the other side. So we're going to do the same thing. Nice twist. Nice turn with that heel. Again, that heel's going out towards the wall. That's kind of what we're shooting for. In this direction, heel's going out. We don't want that toe pointed to the wall. All the way out, in, out, and in. Perfect. Let's go ahead and we're going to finish up our standing drills with just one more core exercise. This will work your balance a little bit too. And what I'm going to have you do actually is bring your feet both touching together, and what we're going to do is a side bend all the way down as far as we can towards one direction, and then we're reaching all the way to the other side. Good. So when we're doing these, this is going to work the side of our core muscles, but at the same time it's also going to give us a little bit of balance work too, because as we do this, we kind of feel our center of gravity change between both feet. So going back and forth on each direction will make our balance a little bit tricky, but of course at the same time we're also working our core. So it kills two birds with one stone here. Again, going nice and controlled with that movement all the way back and forth. Let's finish on this one side and relax. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna move back into our chair to do just a little bit more of a quick foot movement. This is going to practice our seated agility, which helps us move our body quickly, which can help in the reduction and prevention of falls to our best of ability, of course. So what we're going to do is do a double foot tap on an imaginary dot in front of us. So what we're going to do is go side to side, and you're going to imagine as if there's a dot kind of right in front of you. And we're going to go nice and slow first, kind of feeling out that position. Again, trying to touch that dot in the middle, to the side, touch that dot in the middle, to the side. And what we're going to do now is kind of go a little bit faster. So as you noticed, my speed picked up just a little bit. We're getting a little bit faster in those foot movements. Still fairly conservative though. Kind of go at your own speed. You want to be going a little bit faster. And now we're going to finish as quickly as we can, tapping back and forth, getting those feet moving as quickly as possible. Keep going, go, 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 go. And rest. Beautiful. Excellent job, everyone. Give yourself a pat on the back for finishing that. Really good work with that agility, good work with the balance, and we're going to move into a little bit of a cool down here to help our mind and body relax before we finish up the workout. So what we're going to do for our cool down is a nice hamstring stretch. We want our leg as straight as possible for this one. And we're gonna reach down and try to touch our toe, trying to keep our leg as straight as possible when we're doing this. Remember, we're not so much focused on if you can actually touch your toe. I'd rather you keep your leg nice and straight and try to just go down as far as you can. We're practicing good breathing as we reach down in this position, all the way down, taking big breaths in, taking big breaths out. Good. Let's go ahead, finish right there. And we'll toss that leg onto the other side and reach down nice and slowly. Again, when we're doing this, we're trying to just keep that leg nice and straight. Don't really focus on getting your toe in that touching position. We'd rather just keep that leg nice and straight, feeling that nice stretch on the back of our hamstring or the back of our thigh muscle here, making sure we're taking those good breaths as we're reaching all the way down and all the way back. Beautiful. And we'll take one more big breath, slowly reach up, nice and easy. And there we are. So great work today with that exercise, with that workout. We'll go ahead and see you in the fitness tip for the day. How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you enjoyed that exercise video. Thanks so much for joining me for it. For your fitness tip today, we're gonna talk about water. Now, what I want you to try to do right after this workout, right after this video, is to go drink 2 glasses of water. Water is something that we often neglect throughout the day, and usually people think they don't have enough time. So right now, we're gonna make some time together. Go drink some water. You're gonna feel better, and you're gonna move a lot better through the day. Thanks again for checking out this video, and we'll see you next time.